Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Back in 2018, we cut the income tax from 6% to a full percent of 5%. At that time, we heard the exact same argument. I mean, these are the exact same points that were made on that floor at the same time about loss of revenue and all those things. Gentleman from LaRue, since that tax cut, have those revenues gone down since then?
Gentleman from LaRue.
No, Mr. Speaker.
Permission to ask another question, Mr. Speaker.
He will yield.
And if I remember correctly, last year, the end of the fiscal year, we had a $960 million surplus at that time. And if I remember correctly, being in those budget meetings with you, gentleman from LaRue, most of that federal money was put into the budget a couple of years ago. We did the one-year budget, and then when we came back in this two-year budget, we were budgeting past that. We now have a projected budget surplus of a little over $2 billion. So is that federal money that they are funding in our Budget Reserve Trust Fund, or is there a reason that that has gained from that $960 million to that over $2 billion? Is that from good policy, economic policy? What is that from?
Gentleman from LaRue.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. From our policy starting to put in place in 2017, our revenues are growing, even though we're making strides in investments, epic investments, paying down debt, and our Budget Reserve Trust Fund has never been larger in the Commonwealth's history.
Gentleman from Lincoln.
One final question, Mr. Speaker.
He will yield.
Some today have mentioned that there have been cuts in budgets to education, to paying employees, to retirement systems. Can you point to me when we have done that in the modern budgets?
Gentleman from LaRue.
No, Mr. Speaker, I cannot.
Gentleman from Lincoln.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. May I speak on the bill?
Yes, sir.
For many years, we have operated under an antiquated tax system. But since that time, we started that pathway in 2017, which actually coincides with the time the majority flipped in this House. We started down a different path. And in 2018, the gentleman from McCracken led us down the start of that path. When we passed that first and original reduction in that bill, it has resulted in significant revenue gains. There have been more businesses coming to this state, more jobs created, and folks feel comfortable spending in our economy. That has been happening for quite some time, even though the governor took credit for all that last night, even though I didn't see his name on any of those bills, and he vetoed many of the things we've done. But that is what has led to the gains, due to the policies and the pathways that were started in 2017. We all know that government has gotten way too big. And what we have started doing is making it more efficient, and now it is time for the taxpayers to reap the benefits of that. Reap the rewards. Let the people of this state keep more money in their pockets. Working towards this tax system is the best way to do that, to give people control over their money. And even when doing this, as we passed all these measures this past year and budgeted for that, we were still able to give $40 million in prevention services to help those in foster care and the adoption process, and keep families together. We have funded education at the highest level in our state's history. We have funded the raises for state employees. We funded teacher and school employee raises in the manner, because I was sitting in the meeting when it happened, in the manner that we were asked to do by the Kentucky Superintendents Association, the Kentucky School Board Association, and others, and that was give that money to the districts that know best of how to spend it, not us. We created the largest budget reserve trust fund in history, and we funded the retirement systems at the highest level ever. I thank the gentleman from Todd. I thank the gentleman from LaRue. I thank the gentleman from McCracken for starting this path as well, and getting us to the point that we are today. And what we are going to see are the benefits going back to the people of Kentucky as we allow them to keep their hard-earned money in their pockets. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.